Hey frag heads and fragrance lovers, welcome back. It's Benjamin here at the Centaur Fragrance Channel, showcasing another beautiful fragrance. So thank you so much for popping in today. Yes, you, I'm thankful for you, but let's talk about this fragrance today. This is Ambre Oud from the house of Baldessarini. Now, first off, before I jump into the fragrance review, I do want to mention that if you do like affordable fragrances, getting a good bang for your buck, Baldessarini fragrances are really underpriced a lot of the times, undervalued. The brand is not extremely popular, but they are a step up from Hugo Boss. So they're kind of like, I wouldn't say that they're a niche extension or the niche line of Hugo Boss, but they are a step up in quality, and you can usually get a pretty darn good bang for your buck. But sometimes they don't have the best performance. But let's anyways jump into this one. This is Ambre Oud. Now this is a flanker of the ever popular original Ombre, which is a beautiful, light, playful amber fragrance, very versatile, very layerable. Could have better performance, but still an awesome amber fragrance. Probably one of the best entry level or beginners amber fragrances that I could probably recommend. This one really steps it up as being mature. Really makes it a lot more masculine, a lot woodier, and is also pretty decent performer. We'll talk about that later on, though. There are some caveats. This fragrance, though, is a boozy whiskey fragrance. You get a lot of whiskey, comes really to the forefront of the fragrance. The whiskey here doesn't smell particularly, I don't know, it doesn't have the freshness or that sparkle that booze can have. It almost smells more almost like a stale whiskey, really adding to these woody notes and the woody characteristics of this fragrance. To me, I have described this fragrance, and it truly smells to me like a used whiskey barrel. So if you're not familiar with the process of making whiskey, they will make an oak barrel, and they actually will char the insides to enhance those smoky flavors, and they will age it depending on certain factors, and you can get into the world of whiskey depending on first batch or second batch is how much of that smokiness is inside. Some people desire more smoke than others, or certain qualities, and how long it's been aged, and what which batch, like, is this the which how is this the 50th batch that's come out of this barrel, and how long was it aged? Just some people get into those funny details, but I digress. Let's get back into this fragrance. It is luxurious. It does smell of quality. Baldessarini here, is it giving you really good quality for the money? Outstanding, pretty much value-wise. We'll talk about the price later on, but there is something that sneaks up in this fragrance. It's a little bit of some animalic tones, really sneaking up on you, and really making this fragrance, again, a little bit more mature. The woodiness here doesn't come off particularly dry, but it is almost cedar-like, giving you a little bit of an airiness. So it's not a dark fragrance by any means, but it is bold. It is a little bit heavy, and again, a little bit assertive. Definitely masculine and macho coming off with this fragrance. One of the more masculine fragrances from any modern release that I've smelled in a really long time. So woody fragrance lovers, boozy fragrance lovers, and maybe fragrance lovers who like big, bold, assertive fragrances with some animalic undertones. This is a fragrance that you probably is really on your radar. I know this fragrance isn't for everybody, so take this one or leave it. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm still wrapping my nose around it, but it's certainly a very bold fragrance. And I have some sprayed on my hand. That's why I'm smelling a little bit, but I'll spray it here just to assert that I know what this fragrance smells like. Anyways, performance-wise, this is not a bad performer. I get anywhere from 7 to maybe 8 hours, but the funny thing about this fragrance is it actually doesn't perform. It doesn't seem to perform to my nose. It doesn't make me go nose blind. I can still notice it on my hand. And it doesn't seem to me like it's a big projecting fragrance. I would say it's maybe a little bit above average, and the sillage is probably average. But maybe it's just because it's a distinctive or unusual smell, or maybe it really is projecting, but this one does seem to be really noticeable. It is a very unusual fragrance to the average fragrance person who's usually familiar with blue shampoo fragrances, light, easygoing fragrances, and maybe floral and sugary sweet kind of things. This is a big departure. This is a little bit dry, lots of amber, lots of woods, lots of booziness. It is very different from a typical, really modern, designer mall type of fragrance. So, really grabs attention in that kind of way. Not a bad fragrance though whatsoever, but compliment factor wise, I didn't get a lot of outward compliments. It doesn't seem to do that in my world. It doesn't seem to get me that kind of attention, but it did have people think, seeing me as a little bit more confident. It's a very confident fragrance, and I think that you have to feel very confident and perhaps even masculine to pull off this fragrance. It's a very bold fragrance, and in its own way, it's not in everybody's faces, but it's a fragrance that has a growl to it. It has a little bit of a little bit of aggressiveness underneath it. And if you're around timid people, this fragrance might come off perhaps as even like macho. So bold fragrance. It's so likable. Can get you respect, but do wear responsibly. Do know when this fragrance is props appropriate, and it's gonna be different. If you like really playful, sweet fragrances, this is kind of the opposite side of that. This is very bold, assertive. A guy who knows who he is. A fragrance maybe for a mechanic, somebody who works a trade, somebody who's very strong-willed, maybe somebody the owner of a mansion, reading his leather-bound books. A guy, that kind of guy. So, anyways, my final thoughts with the price on this fragrance: it's an outstanding value. You can find this fragrance for $45, sometimes even less. Full retail is a little bit more expensive. Sometimes this one is a little hard to find, but it still seems readily available. But you do have to keep an eye out on it, and you probably have to buy it online, probably a blind buy. I don't. Again, this fragrance is not for everybody. This is going to be polarizing. This is going to be a little bit in the same feel and in a similar style to Gucci Guilty Absolute, which is very polarizing. Again, lovers of Dior Fahrenheit are going to love this. Costume National, Soul, and Serge Lutens Ambre Sultan. Very masculine fragrances, very bold. This one certainly, fits in that lineup for those. And also Big Bad Cedar, which I sometimes forget to mention. It's also another amazing woody fragrance, and for the bold, confident kind of guy. And there's other ones like Ursa by Tiziano Terenzi. There's a number of them. But this one deserves some love out there. I do think it's very well crafted. I do think it's very well blended. Again, those animalics creeping through, and this fragrance that's a little bit almost dry and almost a little bit aggressive as well is not going to have never is going to become very popular. But again, the quality is here. It's well crafted. And again, the presentation doesn't matter that much. It's all about the juice. But I do want to mention that this is a bottle that I think is outstanding. It's pretty heavy, fairly heavy crystal. It's pretty well done. And the lettering there has a nice metallic shine to it. The cap has a fair amount of weight to it. It has a plastic liner, but has a little bit of metal on the outside. And it clicks into place very, very well. I like this copper, almost rose gold kind of tone going on with this fragrance. This bottle presentation. Anyways, let me know if you've tried the House of Baldessarini. Do you like the House of Baldessarini? Do you enjoy their fragrances? Do you think this one's worthwhile? Have you heard about this fragrance? Again, I like to give perspectives from everything from playful fragrances, reviews for the ladies, and this is a fragrance, if you're a gentleman watching my channel, I finally did a review for another one of you guys. So if you like Gucci Guilty Absolute, Dior Fahrenheit, and those kinds of things, I think that you might want to check this one out. It's certainly a very elegant, refined fragrance. It's a little bit of a sleeper where it's sneaky on your skin. It projects better than you think it does. It's a pretty solid performer, but you might not notice how well it performs. So spray responsibly. This one could get you in trouble. If you put on like more than 4 or 5 sprays, I think that it could get you in some serious trouble. So be careful. It is, again, Eau de Parfum concentration. And it's 90 mils, if I forgot to mention that, for the full-size bottles. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap this review up. Thank y'all so much for being here today. I enjoy y'all hanging out with me and spending some time with me. Your time is precious, so thank you for watching my review today. And if you like my review, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share the video, and tell a friend. I'll see you next time, everybody. Stay tuned for another video. I hope that you like my content, and smell awesome out there, my friends. Wear what you love, rock what you got, and I'll see you next time, everybody, and peace.